Hey everyone, I'm Julie Moon, Senior Research Analyst with Finovate. Thank you so much for joining us today. When it comes to diversification strategies, is identity protection at the top of your list? It might not be, but perhaps you should consider it. Today, I'm joined by Christopher Dipril, Director of PrivacyGuard, who's going to talk about how to integrate identity protection into your diversification strategy. Christopher, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so let's dive right in. So tell us about why generating non-interest income is such a pressing issue for banks and credit unions today.
Yeah, it is something that is really top of mind. Right off the bat, we're going to see the Fed has announced upcoming interest rate cuts, trying to stimulate the economy, which is good for the consumer, but it's going to put some pressure on interest income for financial institutions.
Yeah.
Then we're seeing a year-over-year decline in non-interest income, which is something that's always of interest to banks. If you look at a typical credit union, say, they have an 80-20 split. 20% is still a pretty big number of your income, but we've seen that drop 7.4% last year.
Wow, yeah.
Right, so now you have a big hole to fill.
Yeah.
And why is this all happening? It's because they don't have a lot of options. So their margins are under attack from like 3 different areas. And the thing is, you want to find different products and services to bring to your customers. But you know what? I'm going to clue you in on something. Your customer does not want to buy a magazine subscription from a bank. Okay,
Yeah.
They want a relevant product.
Yes.
And identity theft protection is just that. So if you can adopt that solution, we've got the we've got the recipe for how to turn that into a non-interest revenue generating machine, really. And it is the proverbial win-win-win that we all look for. We sell a product, the bank gets protection for its customers and generates revenue. The consumer gets the protection and gets a product for about half the price that they would pay if they had to go and get it themselves.
Wow, yeah, I love that. And as we've seen across other industries as well, subscription revenue is kind of like the golden goose. So that's
Yes, everybody likes subscription
Yes.
revenue. It's almost like the old cooking, set it and forget it.
Yes. Oh yeah, there you go. Very good. All right, so what are the trends that are happening in identity protection right now that create a compelling opportunity for financial institutions?
Yeah, right now, again, identity theft is top of mind for everybody. 87% of consumers are going to sit there and tell you that they think about identity theft.
Yeah.
It's a 24% increase year over year, which is huge.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the table stakes, right? So what's coming next? People are thinking about it. What's coming down the pike? More and more people are looking for protection, but that's where the industry evolves as well. Scam protection is big, so that's a lot of companies, including us, are rolling out scam protection products. Because what you'll find is, if a consumer gets a call, they talk to the person, and they willingly give their double-factor authentication because they clicked on a link, and the scammer is saying, "Hey, we just sent you a text. Read it back to me." So we know it's you.
Yeah.
But what they're doing is they're accessing your account and you're giving them the double factor. Now they're in the account and they're draining it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a scam. It's
Yeah.
not identity protection, so your identity protection policy doesn't cover that. The bank's not going to reimburse you because you gave away the money. So now you've been a scam. So the industry as a whole realized that scams are a problem. And so that's why we're rolling out a scam product as well. So that'll help people. The other thing that's really hot and coming down the pike is, 2 things really. One, title monitoring is getting more and more important.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then data scrubbing. So the best way to be safe is to keep your data from being out there.
Yeah.
We're investigating right now products that will allow the consumer to go to the data brokers and tell them, hey, take my PII off of this list.
Yeah.
So it's some more prevention and more protection tools, and then the one constant that's always changing is the education piece. So that's not new, but the content is new. And
Yeah.
we're always creating new content. We're always trying to let the consumer know what's coming next,
Yeah.
because forewarned is forearmed.
Very cool. Yeah, I've seen a handful of standalone solutions that solve what you're talking about, but it makes sense to integrate it all under one roof inside the bank where a consumer has their trust.
Yeah, I mean, that's the number one thing. If I start to think that something's going wrong with my identity, the first place I'm going is my bank.
Yeah.
And for the most part, the banks do a great job protecting the customer with their own products.
Yeah.
But this is the thing where you need to make sure the disease hasn't metastasized. Maybe maybe it wasn't just your checking account that's compromised. Maybe that consumer's got other issues out there. So you need to address the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, so what makes identity protection such a natural fit for banks and credit unions compared to other diversification strategies?
Well, again, it's the top of mind. It is,
Yeah.
most of the banks have some really good resources on their website regarding identity protection. They've got the FDIC information, they've got the TransUnion, Equifax and Experian's information there. But it is something that the consumers don't necessarily understand. So they and they're not really looking for it until it's too late.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, because generally the information on their website is you have to be searching for it. So why it's such a no-brainer to the banks is that, again, that's where the customer's going looking for protection. And then the thing is that bank customers will leave a bank if they don't have a good experience in a fraud situation.
Yeah.
So if the bank is using identity protection to help protect their customers, it is a loyalty driver as well. So that'll make the customer more loyal to the bank. So again, banks are looking for non-interest revenue.
Yeah.
Here's a way to do it. They're looking to drive loyalty. Here's a way to do it.
Yeah.
And the customers are looking for protection. And again, your money you always want your money to be safe. And one of the easiest ways for somebody to steal your money is to steal your identity first.
Yeah.
So that's really why it's so relevant to the banks. And it's the old marketing thing: relevant product, relevant time, relevant offer. And that's what the customer wants. I don't want my bank selling me, like I said earlier, I don't want them selling me magazine subscriptions.
Yeah.
Identity theft? Okay, yeah, now you got my attention.
Yes.
It's relevant.
All right, we have time for one last question here. What should banks consider when they're integrating identity protection into their consumer offerings to ensure success?
Yes, one was how you execute it. Okay, so we found in branch to be important. The tellers are key, so we recommend making the product available to them. But when you integrate it too, is you don't want to just put it on your website and like poke it with a stick and say do something.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to get word out there through your marketing to your customers, but you also you should consider purchasing it for maybe your wealth management. Or maybe your elder customers.
Oh, yeah.
We're on the precipice of one of the greatest wealth transfers this country's ever seen.
Yeah.
Our elder customers are more vulnerable right now. So we can work with a bank where they can buy a skinnier product, or they'll just they'll bite the bullet and pay for it for certain customer segments.
Oh, yeah.
And then they can also build it into products. The most common being checking accounts. A lot of times premium checking accounts will come with ID theft protection services.
Yeah.
70% of customers are willing to adopt products like that because
wow.
of the identity theft protection.
Yeah.
So it's really an integrated solution. It's not just a single tactic.
Yeah.
You've got your acquisition tactics, but then you've also got, hey, how am I going to incorporate this into my products?
Yeah.
One other, so when I go to the banks, because we know banks like to buy everything all at once for everybody and they never do that.
Yeah.
They always want to pilot things and they want to look for target segments. The ones, again, I always say, hey, well, if you have a checking account is focused on older Americans.
Yeah.
If you have one that's focused on first responders, because here's a disgusting statistic. Our active duty military are 76% more likely to be the victim of identity theft.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
so that's kind of like they're standing on a wall protecting us. They shouldn't have to look over their shoulder seeing who's picking their wallet.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like you could take your military population and buy it for them.
Yeah.
Incorporate it into products and then do the resell on the website, because the resell on the website is, I'm not even lying, it's going to be half the cost to the consumer is if they went to the direct-to-consumer sites. We all know the big 800-pound gorillas out there.
Yes.
Yeah, go to that website. Oh, they're going to give you a great deal year one, and then it's going to double.
Yeah.
And then they're going to try and upsell you every 36 days.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So it's really an opportunity for the bank to do well by doing good.
Yeah, and a great opportunity to foster trust, which isn't easy to come by.
No, absolutely. And look, that is the key driver of loyalty in the financial world.
Yeah.
If I'm putting my money with you, I need to trust you.
Yeah. Very good. Well, Christopher, thank you so much. This was really interesting. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Great. And thank you so much for joining us as well.